Android 18, the powerful cyborg that can survive building-level attacks. Can she truly win against the blonde alcoholic who can survive attacks that can destroy cliff sides? I'm Perry, the programming pussy, and today I have my good friend Chuck the Cyber Cock, and we're going to start with this debunk. So,
all right, guys, before we get started with this debunk, I would like to mention a thing. Like, I don't know if many of you guys, notice this, not because you guys are stupid or because you guys don't know about Dragon Ball, but because of the way that Ben and Chad, said it in such a way that's really manipulative. Like, they said it in a way that's like, oh, hey, we're the fucking authority, we're the fucking quote-unquote power scaling experts, so you need to fucking listen to what we say, right? I don't know if you guys caught on to this, but for example, they said something that for even Geekdom or Kwame would be like, okay, hold on, there's a little mistake here, okay? And, Kwame and Geekdom, they're not power scalers, they're more like Dragon Ball Z lore, type of guys. Android 18 and 17 absorption models, all right?
Yeah.
Seth and I, we're concerned with, okay, can Dick Wrinkle Jr. he can fucking punch with the force of 37,000 zetatons, right? Whatever. Kwame and Geekdom will be like, okay, fucking Dick Wrinkle Jr. was born in the year 1937, where the fuck, or whatever, right? Whatever.
Dick Wrinkle Jr.
But this is not power scaling. This is actual character information. It is never stated or implied that 17 or 18 can absorb energy the way 19 or 20 can. And I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of fucking obvious because they don't have a fucking red zit on their hands.
It's pretty apparent. They use Xenoverse 2 to indicate that they possibly can absorb energy, and it's excuse me. And that's in Xenoverse 2. Okay, for one, Super Buu can also absorb energy in that game, which is, as we know, he doesn't. He actually just absorbs your entire body to take your energy. There's scenes where Goku versus Frieza. Goku took energy from the entire galaxy and threw it at Frieza, and then Frieza was unfazed by it. So it's if you take Xenoverse, the characters are a lot fucking stronger. There's definitely inconsistencies with the lore and stuff in Xenoverse. So I'm surprised that you're okay with using Xenoverse 2, but not the fucking anime filler. But we'll get into more detail about that in a bit.
No, you know what's funny though? They're using video games, right, for Android 18, whatever, but they didn't use the fucking guides for Goku.
Yeah, you can't use the guides, but you can use Xenoverse 2. Okay then.
Okay, and essentially, the proof for this is the fucking manga itself. So, essentially, if we look at one of the chapters, when Android 17 is talking with Jiro, he basically goes over 19, and he says, so you caused another of us to die, did you? And you talked him into turning you into an android. What type was he? An energy absorption model? And Jiro says, well, yes. And Android 18 says, why do you go back to your old energy? Because we infinite energy models were too powerful to control. So right here is basically implied that 18 and 17, they're completely different from 19 and 20. I mean, yeah. As I said, it's pretty fucking obvious because two of them have fucking red zits on their hands. Well, the other ones don't.
The whole point of the energy absorption models is that they can't charge up their own ki. However, the infinite android models 17 and 18, they just have infinite ki, so they don't actually need to drain it from anybody, because what would they drain? Extra energy onto their infinite reserve? There'd be no point. We've also never seen him drain energy or even attempt to in any situation, like when Android 17 was cornered by the Hellzone grenade. Instead of absorbing it all, he just fucking made a barrier to block it. Or when he fought, Imperfect Cell, he didn't just try to absorb his energy when he had his hands on him. The only time we've ever seen them absorb energy was in GT, but in GT, if you look at it, they have the red fucking zits on their hand again. So it's pretty clear, they cannot absorb energy. And in Dragon Ball Super, we've seen no indication of that either. So that is definitely not a strong point. I know they said possibly can absorb energy and didn't really use it as a main point, but it's still maybe you shouldn't have gone there.
Yeah, I know what they're doing, dude.
They're doing the variant.
Oh, guys, I'm gonna say this exactly. I'm just saying.
I'm not claiming it's a fact. I'm just saying, man. Let's talk about some things they said about Android 18. Okay, so for one, they went on this tangent about Android 18's power, and it was really awkward, and they were kind of pussyfooting around the idea of her power for some reason. For example, they're Android 18 has the power to launch you into a freaking cliff and create explosions with her hands. It's oh, okay. It's oh, she can even tank attacks from Super Saiyan Vegeta, the being who can obliterate entire buildings without a scratch. And it's like,
Filthy.
it's like, right? It's like, it's kind of like lowballing in a really weird way. It's like, for example, what if we just argued Goku, the being who can run faster than a cheetah and can take punches from a trained boxer? It's like, you're not wrong, but it's just really weird. Like, why are you lowballing to such a degree? Like, are you that intimidated? I don't understand. And then they say, well, maybe she could possibly destroy a continent or even a planet. And it's just, how many times do we have to go over this? Like, Dragon Ball characters have been planetary since the Saiyan saga. I don't know where the fuck anyone's been. If anything, if Vegeta is the bare minimum of the Planet Buster, which he's not, there's beings below that which have been confirmed planetary by feats, like Piccolo vaporizing the moon, and you can feel the shockwaves on Earth. But if Vegeta is confirmed planetary and everything, even the anime filler, which, you know, they actually used a frame of anime filler to determine that Goku was planetary in the fucking Goku vs. Superman 1 death battle, which they cited in this video, so they still consider it part of their canon, I guess. So if they're willing to use that, then why don't they use Vegeta blowing up a planet and a moon with 2 fingers and shit like that, and then times 50? Wouldn't that be bare minimum times 50 planetary? I just don't understand.
Large planet, small star level range. Nah, that's too much.
I really don't get it. And then there's another scene where they I don't know if this was like I don't know if you consider the choreography of the fights like actually how they think of the characters, but there's a scene where random rocks, like not rocks like the size, like smaller than 18's head, maybe the same size, like falling at like gravitational speed, and like they were like knocking Android 18 out, just like random rocks falling out of the sky.
Like tiny ones.
I'm like, did they just take Krillin throwing a rock at Super Saiyan Goku, like literally? Like, is that
no? Hold on, no, hold on. No, here's the thing though. Like Frieza's rock level, right? I mean, it's not like Android 18 like destroyed the sword that fucking cut Frieza in half. No, he's rock level.
They're fucking rock level, building obliteration with wank. So, I mean, if you guys want to know what we think about their destructive capabilities, we know for a fact that Android 18's like at least dwarf star, like bare minimum, like hundreds of times, because, you know, I hate repeating this in every fucking vid that requires Android level characters, but we got to do it. All right, first form Frieza obliterated planet Vegeta like tens of times greater than Earth in mass and complete obliteration. It was 10 tons of force. It was calced at low dwarf star level. Okay, hundreds of times later for power scaling for Frieza, he'd be in the star ranges, and, you know, Android 18 absolutely dicked on Trunks, who cut that motherfucker into pieces. Okay, so it's very clear that Android 18 is more in the star ranges, and then we know, you know, Super Perfect Cell is concerned with Solar System Buster, and he gets a lot of his powers from the androids he absorbed.
Essentially, with Android 18, like at a bare minimum, she's star level, and you could say possibly she could be Solar System level now, you know, because I mean she did some training or whatever after the Buu saga. And we know that 17 got hella fucking strong despite training, you know, for the 15 years or whatever. He's like able to match like a suppressed Super Saiyan Blue Goku or whatever.
Can I just mention something real quick? I don't mean to interrupt you, but they actually argued that Android 18 was like capable of kicking away Super Saiyan Blue Goku's Kamehameha. They didn't say he was suppressed. I hope they were implying he was suppressed, but if they weren't, and Android 18 could kick away a Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha, then why the fuck were rocks making her flinch? If she could kick away that command, are they implying? I don't want to get. I really don't want to get into that. Man, okay. No. Okay, let's just move on.
With Captain Marvel, they kind of lowballed her, to be honest. So basically, they're trying to imply that her best speed was like Mach 250 or something, right?
Yeah,
which is not even close to the speed of light. It's not even close to subrelativistic.
It's not even lightning.
Yeah, it's not even fucking close.
Yep.
Even though she has some feats that imply that she's like at the very least like relativistic, you know, like light speeds. You could say potentially that a highball Captain Marvel could defeat Android 18 because like her best showings in her binary form imply that she's basically able to like keep up with the Sentry somewhat, and also she also tanks some hits from Thanos, who in Thanos is fucking hella strong, but Thanos was weakened though. But, you know, you could argue she's potentially like, you know, Solar System level, and she could potentially be like a lowball Android 18, you know?
Eyeballing, like she could be Solar System level, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. They just heavily like downplayed her speed. right? Like in Android 18, of course, you know, we know she's easily faster in light, but apparently she's only like what, fucking 16,000 miles an hour.
She's
or some shit.
50% faster than lightning.
Oh my fucking god.
So I'll go.
Oh, speaking of, you want to go over Kid Goku really quick?
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said before, they use anime filler to justify lowballing Goku numerous times, actually, in their Goku versus Superman One Death battle, which they cited in this video. They still consider it valid. Is that Goku in original Dragon Ball, and of course, nobody that doesn't watch Dragon Ball wouldn't know this, but Goku was trained to be faster than lightning as a fucking midget, as a crotch spawn. He was literally, he had a crown on. He had to put a crown on for Kami as part of Mr. Popo's training and Kami's training. He put a crown on and had to stand on like this this plateau, and he got struck by lightning repeatedly until he learned how to be faster than it and dodge it. Mr. Popo even stated, yes, you need to be faster than lightning and calm of mind, and stuff like that in the manga, let alone filler. And then we know, you know, Piccolo just later on obliterated the moon in 4 seconds. But who fucking needs that, right? We just need random bomb frames and a random anime filler scene that was blurred out intentionally. But anyway, judging by that, Kid Goku is at bare minimum the speed of lightning, which is 220,000 miles per hour, bare minimum. And then, as we know, is that Goku as an adult got blitzed by Vegeta. You know, multiply Vegeta by 50, he'd be faster than 340,000 miles per hour. I mean, we don't really need to get into the specifics of how fast they are. It's just, you just need to know that these calculations are horrendously wrong. I don't know if you want to calculate her speed in entirely, but she's at least faster than the speed of light, bare minimum, because, you know, Piccolo, Goku cross Namek in an instant, which would be 1/14 the speed of light. And then you multiply that by 50, that bare minimum would be the speed of light. There's just so many different instances that you could calculate to be the speed of light. It's just really awkward to say their lightning speed, especially when there was literally an entire episode dedicated to Goku dodging lightning as a fucking kid, let alone in Dragon Ball Z later on as a fucking Super Saiyan. So yeah, that calculation just does not make sense. No, the boulder shit, I don't know why they kept going on about building level attacks. I don't know if they were just scared to power scale or what do you think the reasoning for the building level shit was? It just seemed really, I don't know what the fucking point of that was.
Okay, like you can tell they're pretty unsure about what they're saying because like they even you know,
they said possibly a lot.
Yeah, they say possibly.
Sure.
They say
yeah,
probably. You know, like they're really unsure. You know, they're kind of like, you know, you said pussyfooting around it. They're doing like the little leafy tactic. You know,
the leafy tactics.
I go, I'm not saying he has fucked up teeth, but I mean, look at his fucked up teeth.
Okay. That caught me off guard, but
so the closing note,
I want to say that the ending was sick. I do think Android 18 curb stomping Captain Marvel was badass. I don't know. I mean, Captain Marvel at like full power, full wank, you know, solar system would probably overpower 18. However, like the battle itself was cool other than the fucking random rocks knocking 18 out. Like like okay, like Super Saiyan Goku versus Frieza, anybody, like he got fucking pegged by a barrage of rocks.
I mean, it doesn't matter what the outcome was. I mean, like I'd rather have like a battle, you know, where the DBZ character doesn't win, but the actual, you know, fucking scaling, you know, they use the data book statements, you know, fucking feats, whatever, instead of them like bullshitting and nitpicking. But for both sides, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, the entire battle was just pussyfooting. Let's be honest. Like nobody won here. It was kind of like Shadow versus Vegeta.
Anyways, it is kind of hard to like say who would win. Like if you use like their mid-end feats, you know, because like Captain Marvel is, you know, basically stated and she's implied to have like star levels of potency, in her binary form, and then we know 18 through scaling and feats should be star level as well. So they could have, you know, similar destructive capability and durability. Yeah. However, Android 18 would easily have the like higher speed feeds. We actually see this in the fight. We actually see her like speed blitzing the fuck out of her for the majority of the fight. Yeah,
Android 18 probably does actually have more speed feats than Captain Marvel. I'll agree with that. Although, like Chuck said, like they probably have equal around power in like binary versus 18. Base to base, Android 18 shit stomps. That's honestly a fact. Although you could argue like hypothetical, like fully fucking amped, jacked off Captain Marvel could actually obliterate 18 at full power if she could hit her. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Be sure to subscribe to my boy Cuxer Fuxer, Chuck the Cyberfuck. And subscribe to me, of course. Next time on Death Battle, yeah, you are XDEE.
Like Ben and fucking dick ass said it in such a way that I can't
Ben and
that.
dick ass.
What's his name? Like Ben and Chad.
Chad.
There's no way his name's Chad. His name's Chad. Right?
His name's Chad.
Oh no! It is really.